So Cam Thomas probably has a point that the Brooklyn Nets aren't going to be winning anything anytime soon. But at the same time, he joined Milwaukee, a team that's not even in the play-in tournament. Like they are, I believe, at this point of recording, they are 5 games behind the Hawks, which are the 10th seed. Like the Bucks are in a very weird spot. I don't know if Giannis is back. Again, I'm not really watching many games, and if I am, it's probably Brooklyn games. But my point still stands that the Bucks are not a winning team. And sure, the Nets aren't going to be winning anything anytime soon, but when you're on the Brooklyn Nets, or if you're kind of part of that Brooklyn Nets organization, or if you're a fan of the Brooklyn Nets, you at least see that there's like a pathway to growth. Like, sure, maybe none of the rookies we have right now develop into anything special. Maybe we do some dumb trades and we just kind of flip Cam, uh, not Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson's not there anymore. We flip Michael Porter Jr. and Nick Claxton for just whatever picks, and we just keep on kicking the bucket. But we at least have a lot of future capital. We have a lot of young guys. Our losses can be horrid, but they also have some close games. There are potentials that you see there. There's like pieces that make sense. Milwaukee's just a absolute nightmare. I mean, Kyle Kuzma puts up like prime Tony Snell numbers. Giannis wants to be there, but not really. But he stays because of like some kind of sports betting stake he has. I don't know. Um, and Cam Thomas is now kind of the additional piece to that. Like the Bucks don't really have a future. I mean, they do. Like Ryan Rollins isn't nothing. And again, like I believe it's a pick swap, not a total like my pick doesn't exist anymore. So it's like you do have capital to an extent. But yeah, like I get Cam Thomas is saying that the Nets won't win anything anytime soon. That the Nets are a losing organization because we are. I'm not gonna hold you a buck 50, but it's not like the Milwaukee Bucks really are anything as special. Like I think you could say the one difference is that the Bucks at least have a championship within the past 5 to 6 years. But like at the same time, if the Bucks didn't win that championship, had the injury reports fallen a different way, it very well could have been the Nets in 2021. But this gets back to my point with Cam Thomas. Yes, Cam Thomas is a bucket. Everyone knows that. Everyone's been talking about that. He puts up 34 points in February 11th. He puts up 27th on the 20th of February. But after that, the rest of his games are pretty mediocre. Like you got some 15 points per game here, a 12 point per game here, and then multiple games where he's not even cracking like double digits. I mean, he played in let me see. Like his most recent game against the Boston Celtics, they lost by 20 and he only put up 2 points. Like there is this feeling of like what does Cam Thomas do if he's not scoring well? And he really isn't scoring that well. Sorry, I'm gonna cut that off because I kind of was talking all over the place. But like, if you look at Cam Thomas's points, or rather his stats for the first 10 games in Milwaukee, he's only putting up 12.9 points. He is only averaging 1.6 assists. He's only averaging 2.1 rebounds. He is maybe getting 1 steal and 1 block in the entirety of these 10 games. As I just said, he puts up 1.6 assists, but he also has 1.5 turnovers, which isn't great. Sorry, cutting off there, but his shooting splits aren't that great. 42% from the field, 27.3% from behind the arc. Like, the Nets rookies are playing better than Cam Thomas right now, and that is a very funny thing to say. Like Igor Dolman is definitely kind of having a scoring slump right now. He's only putting up 9.4 points, uh, but everything else is just better. I mean, similar amount of turnovers, but he's at least putting up 3.2 assists. He's putting up 3.2 rebounds. He's averaging almost a steal a game, half a block a game. He's shooting 34% from the field, not from the field, from the 3 point line. His field goal percentage is kind of low, but again, he's having a more rough kind of set of shooting splits during this time. But if you look at the other two main rookies, I think they're doing a lot better. Nolan Traore definitely is. I've seen Danny Wolf have some better games recently, and you're going to probably hear some clicking here and there, and that's because I am doing this in real time. I didn't really make a script. Just getting back into the swing of making videos. Okay, it doesn't want to load for me for Nolan Traore's stats, so I'm just going to do it manually, at least for the points per game. There we go. Okay. Okay, yeah. So I found a better way to show the averages of Traore's stats and compare it to Cam Thomas. He's putting up the same amount of points, 12.9, which granted doesn't look that great when he's playing over double the amount of minutes that Cam Thomas is playing, but 12.9 points, 5.2 assists, 1.5 steals, a block every 3 games. I believe he's putting up almost 2 rebounds, and he is shooting 28% from three and 41% from the field. So again, like if Cam Thomas is saying that the Nets aren't a winning franchise and he wants to compare that to the Nets prioritizing their rookies over him, it's kind of funny when Cam Thomas's output is basically a worse Nolan Traore. Like you can give Cam Thomas the same amount of minutes that Traore is averaging right now, which is about 29. And sure, his points are going to be much higher than 13, but I'm not looking at Cam Thomas and saying, yes, you're going to put up 5 assists. Yes, you're going to put up like 2 rebounds a game. Like it's kind of comical. And I think for the sake of this video, I'm also going to compare it to Danny Wolf because Dwellman has been kind of having a down spiral the last couple of games. Traore is kind of averaging out, but he's been finding his stride. And I think Danny Wolf is actually finding his place a lot better. Let's see, last 10 games. Yeah, see, like Danny Wolf was averaging 12 points in his last 10 games, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, nearly a steal and a block a game. Uh, and he's shooting 43% from the field, 34% from behind the arc, and he's doing that in 22 minutes a game. Like, again, it's just a much more completed kind of output than what Cam Thomas can put having those same minutes. So, what's the point of this video? I'm not trying to dunk on Cam Thomas. And I'm not even really defending the Nets because the Nets are a bad team. Like a lot of teams are tanking for a top pick this draft, and the Nets definitely are tanking. But I don't think the Nets are actually tanking as bad as some of these other teams. Like the Nets are just a really young, really inexperienced, poorly constructed team, and not even in terms of like roster construction. It's just more like this year is kind of a lost year for the Nets, and the Nets aren't taking it seriously outside of like developing their young guys. So, TLDR, Cam Thomas is right. The Nets aren't going to be winning anything anytime soon. The Nets have a history of kind of screwing the pooch on that one, but the Nets kind of have a history of fumbling the bag when it comes to kind of winning games. But that doesn't mean that Cam Thomas is any more of a winning player. It doesn't mean anything that like he's on a team that also is in probably a worse future than the Nets are. Like I think the only upside of the Bucks have over the Nets is that Giannis is still on the roster and probably going to stay, but at the same time, and like Ryan Rollins is also a really nice piece and stuff like that. But at the same time, like if Giannis leaves, if Giannis is hurt, the Bucks don't have a lot looking kind of towards the future. And I'm glad that Cam Thomas is finding his way in the league. I'm also glad he is off my team. So, shout out Milwaukee having the new tank commander, and I will see you all next time. This has been Above the Net. Please subscribe, comment, like, all that little stuff, and I'll see you all later.